LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. For the next 30 minutes, we invite you to be part of the conversation by calling 219-362-0522. And you can now text your questions to the Liquor Vault on-air line or by email to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the host or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
(219-362-0522). The Liquor Vault on-air line. You can either call or text. That's 219-362-0522. You're also welcome to email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com if you'd like to. It's available to you. You can email me. We've got a couple questions that have been given to us on Facebook. Let's get to these real quick, because I know you're going to be interested in this. Here's one that came in. We are thankful for the tremendous support for the Say No to LaPorte corridor. The petition has nearly 2,000 signatures with over $1,000 in contributions to support it, as well as the formation of a nonprofit corporation to protect and preserve LaPorte County. Looking back over 2021, what are you thankful for? The question asks.
What is the question?
What are you thankful for?
Well, thankful that people are engaged in the corridor on both sides of it. We have a copy of that list and going through those names as well. We also have a lot of support for it. So we look forward to working together, not jumping on Facebook and personally attacking others, but looking for the future at what's best for everybody. And I'll tell you what, Nick Minnick, our city engineer, has been working with county landowners to say, hey, this is the idea, this is the thought. But obviously you see every day going on Lincoln Way with the truck traffic that do not want to be on Lincoln Way and the corridor and building that up for the future. So we're excited to have that discussion, and we look forward to continuing to work with those many individuals that support it, as well as the ones that here are opposed to it. And again, the county, we're excited for a partnership with them, but with the new infrastructure dollars, and we've been talking to Congressman Mervan, Senator Young, and everybody that will listen to make sure those new dollars, the city of LaPorte should compete with everybody across the nation to fight for those.
All right. Here's a question that came in through our email. Again, we've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show, and our final show of the year, so let's have some good questions from you. 219-362-0522. I followed your campaign for mayor through the newspaper and the radio. Thanks for following it on the radio. I assume it was this station and nobody else because, again, you're a great listener. I never read or heard anything about your plan to raise the population of LaPorte to 30,000 people by the year 2030 during that whole campaign. The question I want you to answer is, why did I first hear about your 30 and 30 plan after you were sworn in as mayor?
Well, I think you've seen, and I appreciate that, talk about increasing population, talking about having an opportunity to bring the kids that have been educated in our community, have a reason to bring them back home. And, a new standard so that they would feel proud. And because many of them said, hey, we're not coming back to LaPorte. There's nothing there for us. And I think we've shown a new standard, put in place code enforcement, addressing the drug traffickers so people feel safe and giving them a reason to come back home to be, to raise their families. And I think we've talked about growing the population for quite some time, but appreciate that. And I think we've hit those targets. Also, we have new targets that are coming. The 39 North expansion and what we're going to do there. You haven't heard me talk about that before. That has to be addressed, and we're excited in exchange for the potential of annexation to be able to repair and to address the water issue for 39 North that's been ignored for too long.
All right, we've got some callers on the show. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody here. Let's get to a caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Merry Christmas. Glad to have you with us. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Well, me?
Yep, that's you.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Matt Fjork. How's it going?
Hey, how are you, Matt? Good to have you, man.
Matt,
Good.
how are you?
Good. How you doing, Tom? Hey, I called in. I told Nate when he first started doing this show that I'm never going to call in. But I just wanted to say it's the end of the year.
It's a Christmas miracle, buddy. It's a Christmas miracle.
I thought, I just wanted to call and only spread the positivity. Tom, I think you're doing a lot of good things for the town. You're going to see growth in every road you take. You can see new businesses coming in, new buildings being constructed. Nate, I think it's really important what you're doing on Sound Off. I think you've done a good job being that, kind of impartial middle guy. It's kind of hard to do a lot of times. Just want to say we appreciate you guys in the city, and I hope you guys keep doing well and making LaPorte better every day.
Thanks, buddy. Yep.
Matt, thank you. And Matt's been great. He's an example of when he may not like something, he's not just no. It's about, hey, sit down, let's talk about it. This isn't personal.
Yep.
We're trying to build a better community. We have to compete for young people like Matt. We love him, even though we'd rather have him in the city.
If you like Matt, you should meet his wife, Maddie. She's even better.
Well, I know
she's way better.
Yeah,
I know he's got those big dogs, so he needs more room to run on.
That's
But Wilson's and Adam, we're praying and thinking of him as well.
Yep.
But we're fortunate to have those downtown businesses with young people. And Matt's in a tough spot because I know he also, from a business, I don't want to speak for him, but also sees that truck traffic coming in front of his business that he works as well. So
yeah, it's a hard situation, and I hope those residents in the county, those in the city, all of the stakeholders find a way to live with a solution that solves as many problems as possible, going forward.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's no perfect way. Also, Tom, have Nick give me a call. He still has never called me.
you got it.
All right, thanks, buddy. You guys have a good one. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy New
Christmas,
Year.
buddy. Take care. All right, let's get to another caller before break. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks for calling. Happy holidays. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Good afternoon, Mayor. This is Steve
Hey,
Hallfield.
Stevie, how are you, man?
He's been ducking me.
No, you've been ducking me. Last time I left you a message, so we'll catch up. We'll just keep playing phone
Yes.
tag till we hook up. Tom, I support you 100%. I consider you one of the very, very few people locally here elected that can actually debate intelligently with me. But this new tax, Tom, I got to tell you, this is going to require a lot of thought for me to go on board with it. No one's saying that the local employees do not deserve more. But at the same token, as you heard me speak at the council meeting, we need to keep some of the money in our pockets also because we've been struggling through this too. So I'm looking forward to hearing you on the 24th when you present this to the county because again, we pay enough taxes already as it is, local and state and federal. Local and federal are trying to raise our taxes. How about listening to the state? They're shrinking our taxes. So just my thoughts. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Steve.
Real quick, Mayor, because I know Steve is he knows all this stuff, but he's talking about a lit tax, right?
Correct. The public safety lit tax that Governor Daniels, when I was in the legislature, put into play as a part of the property tax caps. And one thing I would tell Steve, and I understand it, and the state is looking to further cut. We cut when I was in the legislature. Now I'm on the other side because the state looks good and their numbers look good. But again, it also, when the state cuts, it affects locals. And so now I'm on the other side. And I think we have to continue to think of new ways to do things. But I do want to make sure people understand that the property tax cap that 70% of Hoosiers supported, we passed in the legislature, we give $28 million of property tax relief back to homeowners in the county of LaPorte. So the city of LaPorte, libraries, schools, the county, Michigan City, the city of LaPorte loses 25% of our revenue that we're supposed to use to fund public safety, goes back to homeowners in the form of relief. So I guess my point is we need to make sure everybody understands it's just not like we're tax and spend. We're giving those dollars back to homeowners just like Steve requested.
All right, we've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. It's our final show of the year. Glad to have him with us. If you've got a question, 219-362-0522. You can call or text us or email us at soundoff@967theeagle.com. We're going to take our first break and get back to your calls and texts as soon as we're back. Keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Car problems often strike at the absolute worst times, but you can rest well knowing that Cannon's Automotive Service is here for you and dedicated to get you back on the road with prompt, efficient, same-day service. The same Cannon's commitment that LaPorte has trusted for over 50 years. Cannon's Automotive Service, now with 2 locations, 710 Tyler Street and 909 Boyd Boulevard.
With Cannon's Automotive, we fix everything.
Make organizing your home your first New Year's resolution with Menard Storage Products. Start by organizing your wardrobe with a fully customizable wooden closet system from Dakota Closets. Or add beautiful Dakota shelving to any room of your home. Seal up your holiday decorations or other valuables with storage crates and totes. And keep them all organized with a new shelving unit. Menards has all the storage solutions to simplify your life inside and out.
Save big money at Menards.
Yeah, military life can have its challenges, but sometimes veteran life brings more. While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My name is Greg Gadsden, 26-year Army veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
DAV helps veterans like me get all the benefits they've earned, and that can be a life changer.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won. With the right support, there are no limits.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Greg Gadsden, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Thank you for tuning in to Sound Off. You can now text or email your questions directly to the studio. Call or text 362-0522 or email your questions to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is Sound Off.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sound Off. My name is Nate Laux. I'm your host today. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio for our final show of 2021. We'll be back in 2022 with lots of great guests. And I don't want to surprise you or alarm you at all, but I'm going to tell you this primary season starts soon, and we'll obviously be full with guests for that. So lots of stuff in 2022 to look forward to. If you are interested in staying up on politics and what's happening in our community, is a great way to do it. Hey, we've got another caller here. Mayor Tom Dermody's in the studio. What's your question for Mayor Dermody? Hello?
Yeah, how you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
Sorry about that. I'm good, Mayor Dermody. You mentioned earlier the 39th Conservancy District and the water issues that it's facing. Could you expand upon that? Those of us in the district haven't really heard a whole lot other than odd rumors here and there.
Absolutely. There's about 10 right now. If the fire department came out, there's no guarantee there'd be enough water pressure to be able to put out a fire at a home, whatever that might be out there at a business. So we understand, and we've got the numbers. In fact, engineering firms from all sides met a week and a half ago and recognized there's about $10.5 million worth of work that has to be done to upgrade the system. And again, you see what happens with the condominiums in Florida recently over the past 6 months. I can't live with the situation where we know this and we wait for a disaster to happen before we address it. And we believe we have an opportunity to fund this to even slight increase in potential water bills with the property tax caps. The only thing we would ask for that we see as an option right now is annexation in exchange for that. And, with the property tax caps, people's bills, at least from a residential side, do not go up at all. Some have been reduced, and business taxes would go up in those business areas. But again, what is the cost to not having enough or appropriate flow pressure for 39 North when something happens? And so I think no one has argued that. The question is, I think everybody realizes there needs to be something more than a, the water, where you keep all the water, the fire, or the water tank, I guess is the, that's only $750,000, $1 million bucks. There's about $10.5 million. The city is excited to participate in this and to make sure residents or non-residents currently don't see too much of an impact.
So, Mayor, do you think on that deal, the way it stands and structured is now, do you think, as the leader of the city, do you think the city's getting a raw deal in that deal, in that agreement right now as it stands?
Well, we've already said at the end of the contract, we've given 3 years notice that we will not continue to supply water unless these upgrades are made. And so now not only are we saying, hey, we're going to take the water and walk away, we're saying we recognize there's a $10.5 million problem. We know it can't be put on the backs of everybody in 39 North. So I think we're going to have a plan that we want to sit down with everybody and talk about.
All right, let's get to some texts real quick. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody on the show today. If you've got a question, 219-362-0522, the Liquor Vault on-air line. You can call or text. Again, that number is 219-362-0522. Here's a question we received. I heard there's a McAllister's Deli coming to LaPorte. Can you say whether or not that is true or not?
I have, if I can laugh, I have heard that rumor as well.
I didn't even ask that. But.
I have heard that rumor as well and look forward to hopefully that becoming true.
What would Bert Cook want you to say right now?
He's heard that rumor and looks forward to hopefully that rumor coming true.
Here's another question. I'm
going to have to get that text number from whoever that was.
Why are all the veteran city police officers leaving?
Well, I don't think all of them were, but I think it's a perfect example of financially what's been happening. We almost had 9 officers leave, go to South Bend, where they can make $20,000 more tomorrow
for a 30-minute drive.
For a 30-minute drive, and I think South Bend is a bad choice. There's a lot more danger in my mind, but you also have a lot more backup there. So as we reframe and the expectations of our police department, and Chief Breton, I believe, has done a very good job at that. But when you're one of the lowest departments for years, we have now addressed it. Those young, new officers that see the future now, that they can make a good living in LaPorte, we've signed them up for 2 years. Same thing with the fire department. And this is going to be a new police and fire and public safety team with the expectations rising. And I'll tell you what, we have to fund this because everybody wants police and fire. And with our budget, when we lose 25% of our budget due to the property tax caps, Courtney Parthune is an amazing clerk treasurer that I've said should have this job for life, but she's not a magician. And we're committed to public safety, and we're going to continue to do it. But some people may be unhappy why they left, but financially, we've been told is the main reason why many left, and now we've kind of solidified the team and actually are getting applications from other areas of people looking to come and sign up in LaPorte.
All right, we'll get to one more text and then get back to your callers. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio here. If you've got a question for Mayor Dermody, the Liquor Ball on-air line is 219-362-0522. You can call or text. Here's a text we received. Hey, I would like to hear his thoughts on affordable low-income housing in LaPorte. The complex I live in will no longer be a tax credit low-income property effective next August. Lake Life does little to aid those needing affordable housing. Other complexes I can afford won't even accept a wait list at this time, and Section 8 is not an option as it is too closed to applications. How can you help?
Absolutely. And we've said from day one, living the lake life doesn't mean high-end living. Living the lake life means everybody, as much opportunity for free as possible, should enjoy our parks, our lakes, and all the activities that come along with that lake life. Affordable living, again, look at 701 Maple. With only a year here, what we've done, we're not going to have bed bugs, disgust, violence, everything that comes in those complexes in the past here in LaPorte. And 701 Maple now is going to have 30-some apartments, some of those as low as $550 a month. I'm not sure how much lower you can go. We're also working on Tidma Bakery site to say, what else can we have? But we need a blend of not only affordable, but also high-end and middle workforce housing. So we're working on it. And if you haven't seen, every day trying to make housing available. And it's not just a problem in LaPorte, but it's a problem in our region, state, and our nation. But if you have something where you're working every day, whether you need a higher paying job, those jobs are out there as well. But you can call me at 363-7293 or text me your contact information, and let's see what your current situation is.
All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks for being on. You've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio. What's your question?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, buddy.
Good afternoon.
And happy New Year to you.
Yeah, you too.
And Mayor Dermody, I usually agree with you. But I want to see if you agree with me on this one. Did you guys get the Northwest Indiana Times newspaper?
Yes, I try to follow that online.
Okay, well, if you keep an eye on it, all them cities over there have been getting the license plate readers.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's paper, it's got how Whiting they put them in like a month ago, and they just they caught a murder suspect on it, driving through their city.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like you want to stop. It's not really going to stop the crime, but it's going to help you solve it, or it is going to help stop it too, because people are going to know they're there, and they're not going to want to drive by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
It's certainly a tool in the toolbox. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of keep the riffraff out. Like they're not going to be driving in there with stolen cars, because it's going to show up that car is stolen.
Sure.
So Michigan City tried, getting them a while ago, and people came and fought it, and I think there's no reason to fight it unless you're committing a crime, or you got a warrant for your arrest, or I don't even think it tells you that. I think it just tells you if what the license plate is and who owns the car.
Mm-hmm.
It won't tell you if they got a warrant for your arrest from what I read about it before. But I would appreciate if you look into that a little bit more, help your police officers and your citizens, keep the riffraff out. But the other thing I want to mention, I'm on the south side of Michigan City. I live in the county, at Cool Spring Township. This farmland has been in our family since 1853. I would be pretty mad if you're gonna worry about a few semi trucks and cut through someone else's farmland and something that's been in their family for that long. I mean, those people lived in the country for a reason. They didn't live in the city, so you're going to make it better for people in the city, but put semis out by the country. You know, it's like what they did in Michigan City. They brought they got rid of the apartments in town and moved them out by the Michigan City High School. Guess where all the problems are now? All the apartments are, you know, all the police got to go to the apartments out here. So don't get rid of one problem and give it to somebody else. And I'll hang up and listen. You guys have a great New Year.
Yeah, you too, Bob.
I appreciate that. And first one, license plate readers. Chief Breton has already been looking at options like that. Number two, regarding the corridor. Absolutely, and that's why Nick Minnick, our city engineer, and again, it's a county project. It started as a county project, but Nick has been working with county owners, landowners. 362-2327 is Nick's direct number, and he'll work with you because we get that, and you're never going to make 100% of the people happy, and I get that. But what Nick has done is try to allow people to share their concerns, still farm, while also finding this isn't your grandfather's corridor that's wide and big. Nick is smart looking at a corridor of the future. And I think while you may not agree with it, talking to Nick and what he's trying to do with it, you'll have a thanks that, hey, he's totally getting, because his family, how many years has Nick Minnick's family been farming? So he understands that. The Minnick name is known for farming, and I think that gives us an additional benefit.
You know nothing about my grandfather or his corridors. All right, let's take a break here. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We're going to take our final break of the day. Keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Ben Conowitz here, LaPorte Seamless Gutter, 219-362-9972. You know, fall is here, and that means leaves and debris for your gutter system. We've got 3 separate types of gutter guard for your home. Leaves and debris come in all shapes and sizes. We don't need a one-size-fits-all for your gutter. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com.
For the best selection and the lowest prices on your beer, wine, and spirits, look no further than Verk's Discount Liquors. Not sure what to bring to the party? Stop by the newly opened Verk's Discount Liquors at the corner of Highway 421 and 400 North in Michigan City. Be sure to check out the discounts when you purchase by the case. They also have several other stores throughout LaPorte and Michigan City for your convenience. Time to get the party started? Check out Verk's Discount Liquors.
Looking for something different? Then head to the all-new Michigan City Kia during the Command the Season event. Come check out our Kia lineup, including sedans, SUVs, crossovers, hybrids, and electric models. From gas sippers to family haulers and everything in between, there's a Kia vehicle to fit every budget and lifestyle. Come in for a test drive and check out the all-new Michigan City Kia today. Or visit MichiganCityKia.com, now part of the Bob Lacurcio Auto Group.
You don't like buying a car this way.
So who's hungry? Good, because I've got a deal for you. Hey, it's Dennis Siddell. Make sure you listen for Denny's Diner weekdays at 6:55 right here on the Morning Mayhem. Both Joe and I will be cooking up some country trivia questions, and if you have the correct answer, you'll be the winner of a $20 gift card from either JJ's Side Out Bar and Grill, Wanna Pizza, The Burger Bar and Grill, Nowhere Bar and Grill, and T-Berry's Diner. Make sure to join us for Denny's Diner at 6:55 a.m. during the Morning Mayhem for your chance to win a 96.7 The Eagle.
Your forecast on 96.7 The Eagle brought to you by Harmon Expert Auto Service. If you're looking for a local and quality auto repair company, then look no further than Harmon Expert Auto with 2 locations in LaPorte, 308 Washington or 111 Brighton Streets. Visit their website at harmonexpertautoservice.com or call 325-0444.
Michiana weather.
51 this afternoon, under cloudy skies, west winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy tonight, 31. About an inch of snow tomorrow with another dusting Wednesday night. From the Weather Center at HometownNewsNow.com. Right now, 40.
Your opinion matters. We invite you to share it by calling or texting the Liquor Ball on-air line at 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, welcome back to Sound Off. Glad to have you for our final show of the season. We'll be back again on Monday for another show. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio. Let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Is that me?
That's
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
I just want to say, Tom, that you're doing a fantastic job. Sorry I called you by your first name.
That's all right. I've been called worse.
I would I would really like to see you do something for the youth. Now, I know that you have nice little events every now and then, like the ice rink. I'm talking about, half of the high school is in sports or in band, but then I'm talking about the other half, the lower income. We need something like the Boys and Girls Club of Michigan City.
Well, and that's a great point. And one of the things we've talked about, we believe we have space in Newport Landing, but looking at a new YMCA, the Healthcare Foundation is looking at options, and having something that is free, especially to those lower income. The parks are great and nice during the good weather months, but indoors during winter, there has to be a place for kids to go learn a trade, learn a sport, just have a place to gather and have some fun. So that would be a good option.
And she mentioned Boys and Girls Club, and they have recently expanded to Westville schools and to Kingsford Heights. So they are in the LaPorte school system. So they are in the process of expanding as they're able to do with their bandwidth as an organization. But it wouldn't shock me in the next couple of years to see more of a presence from them in LaPorte to help our youth as well.
And thank you to Michelle Shirk for making that happen.
Yep, absolutely. All right, here's a question on our text line. Hello, I heard you announcing a few weeks ago about wanting to upgrade housing on Jefferson, Maple, and Harrison. How much of the city's ARP funding are you proposing to use for this? Which are of Jefferson, Maple, and Harrison would you be starting with? Is it limited just to apartment houses?
No, I think we go house by house if we need to. We're putting a committee together. I'm saying, what we've talked about, $2 to $3 million. Hopefully we'll have some other partners that will also financially participate. But how do we change the future of that housing and really change the future of generations of families in poverty and give them something that they can be proud of, turn around, sell it, get our money back, and go house by house if we have to, block by block. We started with 701 Maple, and I think we just expand from there and, help those families that are in need and are willing to do their part to keep those houses up, and keep them up to snuff, I guess is the term I'm trying to think of.
All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Happy New Year. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
I hope I'm listening there. Am I on?
Yes,
sir.
You're on, sir.
It's Wendell Cooper.
Hello, Wendell.
Well, I got a couple things. I live just outside the city, but my wife, drops things in the mail all the time, and that little short street behind the post office, that is so bad, tore up. It'd be nice if somebody could do that little work there when you get back in the pay thing. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Number one, absolutely.
And my next one is, and I asked you probably several years ago, I don't know if you ever found out when you were still politicking, that the reflective paint, as we older people get older, the reflective paint used to be in the paint during the highways and the side roads and in the center line and also the fog line. Anyway, did you ever find out if there's a reason they stopped doing that environmentally or what?
Well, no, I think it was probably back in the day, probably more from lack of people to work and do things. They were fixing roads and trying to get as many roads done. But we understand that there needs to be some paint, some, center line work that needs to be done so people know which way they're going. And it just looks better, especially with curbs as well, painting those certain curbs, handicap curbs, everything downtown. I think all of that needs to be done. Parking lines. If we want to be that community that competes with the best, we need to look crisp, sharp, and painting is a part of that. But we got to have the staff to do everything, because right now our street department does a little bit about everything, from picking up swans in the middle of the road that have been hit to sometimes trash to sometimes flags that need repaired. They're just a little bit of everything, but I agree with you. We definitely need to have that striping done, and it just looks good.
Here's a text line we've received. LaPorte is already overcrowded. Why do you want more people here? Here's another text in that vein. Won't we need more police? We're already short.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if we're overcrowded. We've been overcrowded for 40 years because our population hasn't changed a bit. There's definitely room to grow. We're already seeing the infill portion in Flaherty and Collins and those apartment complexes. We're going to see Tidma Bakery. We have Beechwood Lakes, which will be higher end living. And you know what? And that's why we're looking. That's why we did what we did for the police and public safety and our fire department. It's not so much we're short, but when you're the lowest paid around for years, people aren't going to want to come and work here. And that standard is going to be low. Now we're increasing the standard, setting new expectations. And I think with the new culture, people are going to want to be a part of this team. And we expect, as we've seen already in the last application round of police officers, I think they had 14, which was, according to Chief Breton, the largest number of applicants we've had in some time.
All right, we've got listeners. I'm checking online here from Atlanta listening. We've got Denver, Detroit, New York, all these kind of things. So thanks so much for listening wherever you're catching us online or in person. We got a couple more minutes for some more callers. We've got Tom Dermody in the studio. Let's get to another question. Hello, you're on the air with Tom Dermody and Nate Laux. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Hey, guys, thanks for having the show today. Just for a little humor with Tom, I'm going to call him Tom because I can remember back in the day when we were playing ball.
I know what he's going to say.
So many elbows from this guy, and, he's taller than me, and it's like he's got sharp elbows, and they'd get me in the neck, and Tom was one of them, don't bring that in here. Don't bring – all right, so I say all that. But Mayor Dermody, and I will call you Mayor Dermody because I really I've liked what I've seen thus far. And like I tell a lot of other individuals that get into positions, until you prove otherwise, you've been a good mayor, and you're Mayor Dermody. Now, let me get to where I was going. Now, we talked about South Bend. We talked about other departments. What I want to know is have these departments been paying this like $10,000 a year more than other departments for years and years, or is this a bonus? B, did they have to raise taxes to do it? So, I mean, we talk about all these things and making this happen, but I wonder where the other communities, and if you're just using the ARP money, of course, then you have to say, well, that's good for a year, and then that's gone. But, where is that what it is? And that's what the people need to know. You want more service. You want more police. You want more, again, service. You got to pay for it somewhere. Now, I don't know if they had a stockpile of money and all of a sudden they're saying, hey, we can afford to pay everybody an extra $10,000. What's your thoughts? I want to know where we can get to that point. So I'll let you go.
Which is where some of the lit tax comes in.
Yeah,
correct?
Thanks, Jeff. And again, I think 71 of the 92 counties have a public safety lit tax. Porter County, you look at theirs, they had a great, for many years, cash balance, and they made a commitment. And you just look, when I took office, you can see the numbers of what fire and police made in the city of LaPorte versus other communities. And so this has been ongoing for some time, but I think the spread and the issues in South Bend of paying more because of maybe what's happening due to violence and so forth has increased. But overall, all these surrounding communities made a commitment to public safety. You see what's happening in EMS. And again, we're just not concerned about the city of LaPorte. We're not concerned about Michigan City. We're concerned for LaPorte County, Michigan City, LaPorte, because what's good for us is good for them, and the same with the county. We just saw that Michigan City is considered the most dangerous community, or one of the most dangerous communities in the county. It was made clear in the state, and it's been made clearer to us that will flow into our community, and so we're a public safety, especially a supporter of law enforcement. And I'm telling you, it's a cornerstone of this administration, and people are going to feel safe, and we're going to pay them, and we're going to prioritize to keep our police and fire here and make sure that they know LaPorte's a great place to retire from. And so now we're setting the stage that the other communities, doesn't matter what they do. We know what we have to do to set a new standard, and we just saw this in South Bend because they did go ahead with fire department raise after they saw what we did. So that new standard is here, but if we make it competitive, people won't leave, I believe, because of our culture.
All right, you got 30 seconds. What do you want our listeners to know, Mayor Dermody?
363-7293 is my cell. Text me. And all the individuals, again, on Facebook and these other places that want to say things to me or about me, you can do that direct to me. I'm available. Text me, call me, because if we're not doing something that doesn't get you to think, we're not doing our job. Our goal is to make LaPorte a better place. We've got a fantastic team. I'm excited for what we're looking to do in 2022. The new standard has been set, and let's have fun together. But if you have ideas, and we're not perfect, I make mistakes, you can call me. Again, day or night, 363-7293. And everybody have a safe and happy new year. And thanks to Nate and the team here at 96.7 for this opportunity to share our thoughts and take questions from our community.
And on that note, we hope you have a great new year. We'll be off on Friday, but be back on Monday here.